Learning Photography from Sandy Sapello Madkiff in New Jersey and Growing Without Schooling 23. When Donald was in first grade, I started teaching him at home because I realized he thought he was a poor reader. He had learned to read before he entered kindergarten, and the school had convinced him that he couldn't. It took several years and a lot of Mad magazines, but he learned again. The first year and a half that he was home, we had 3 or 4 other kids with us. My youngest, then age 2, who learned more than anyone, a 6-year-old, 2 14-year-olds, plus several high school students who helped us with puppets, stories, and especially photography. Photography was a focal point for our activities for the first year, but I could not master the technicalities of the camera or the developing process, so we asked for help. I knew that my inability to understand the mechanics and mathematics involved was based on a combination of lack of time, interest, concentration, and confidence. We took an old 35mm camera with black and white film on most of our trips to the park and so on. Donald and Steve, 14, developed some pictures in their own darkroom, and then interest waned for a while. For several reasons, Donald went back to school for 3 years. It was a nice, small, individualized private school that gradually took on all the aspects of school, and at age 12 he decided to learn at home again. John was 6 and very happy to stay at home also. Donald has maintained an interest in photography, especially movie making, and about a year ago I started to take some pictures of the children at the nursery school where I worked part-time. About the same time, a couple that I knew needed someone to develop their black and white shots to accompany their freelance newspaper articles. Donald volunteered for a price. As we set the darkroom up this time, I found myself wanting to understand how to develop the pictures so I could enlarge some of my nursery school shots. I found myself enlarging and learning as I went along. I assisted Donald when he did his developing because we found it better to have one person do the camera work and another do the chemicals. Since my work has evolved mainly into writing articles on education and the legislature, I tried to figure out ways to combine the two talents. I have outlined a book on the nursery school that will include my own pictures for illustrations. I put flyers up at the nursery school with some samples of the pictures and offered to take pictures. If they do not like any of the shots, I don't charge anything. So far, I have done 2 birthday parties and 1 wedding. The last few days, I have read through 2 years of Modern Photography magazine, trying to decide on the best camera. I have been using Donald's for the type of pictures I want to do. I still haven't found an adequate explanation of the merits or disadvantages of an f1.2 over an f1.4, but I have learned about apertures, shutters, depth of field, and lenses. I have learned things that a few years ago I did not have the inclination or desire to learn because I now have adequate reason to tackle the learning involved.